G'day, another teardown of a 3000 VA transformerless uninterruptible power supply. This one's made by Alpha. I think the model number is Pinnacle Plus 3000 RM. And that's the front of it, obviously. Let's have a look at the back. Unlike the previous one, it doesn't have IEC sockets. It's all done via a terminal block, though looking at manuals, that section there can be replaced by a plate with normal IEC sockets. This one just happens to have terminals. Fans, lots of communication. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 communication type ports, although I think these are just Ethernet connections with filtering, so they don't actually go to anything internal, and provision for an external battery to increase the life when the power fails. Internally it's quite a bit different to the other one, even though they're both transformerless. This one's got a lot more stuff in it. Let's have a look. So you can see a lot more circuit boards, a lot more wiring, and a lot more inductors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 biggish inductors. Well, relatively big. These are much bigger, but they're still big inductors. There's one, even that one's big. Little transformers. We've got a big transformer. 1, 2, 3, 4 little transformers at least. 1, 2 big heat sinks, 2 smaller ones. Lots of electrolytic capacitors that the other one didn't have. Just off the top of my head, I would suspect that this is charging. Another transformer, another little heatsink, control board here. AC comes in, gets rectified to DC. These MOSFETs turn into AC again, which that transformer takes. It's then rectified again, so you've got high voltage DC but more controlled perhaps. And then that DC is again turned into AC for the outputs, something like that. You know, I'm going to take note of all the wiring and then start unplugging things and pulling boards out, but I want to get a good idea of what goes where first, so I won't bore you with that again. Back soon with some parts coming out of this. Well, after a week of distractions, I'm finally back to this guy. There's a lot of wiring in it. Yeah, pull all that out. We don't need that. Yeah, very heavy wiring compared to what I'm used to, I guess, because most of this is happening at not only 3000 watts but 120 volts, so the currents are doubled everywhere. Okay, so from what I can tell, the basic layout of this thing is this board here is indeed for charging the battery, and these 3 boards are part of the path both in and out. So comes in here, goes into this board, then into here, then to here where it's power factor corrected and rectified, then turned into AC to go to this transformer where it begins its return journey, going back through more rectifiers and filtering, going into here where it's inverted by that, then it goes back into here and to the output terminals. So let's have a look at each of these bits a bit more closely. Input terminals, just a lot of wires. There's a circuit breaker there. The incoming live goes through the circuit breaker before it goes to what I'll call the in-out board. Mobs and filtering, common mode choke, and then there's a capacitor there. Then these things, which I don't know what they are. They look like relays, but they, hear that? Sound like there's something glass in them, and I can't see anything on them. I can't see any real part numbers. Maybe that's one. I doubt it though. But yeah, not sure what they are. And then the AC finally comes out. When it comes back, it goes to these relays which select whether it goes to the outputs and whether or not it goes to load group 1 or load group 2. So presumably when the battery power is running low, it can disconnect one of those load groups that's less critical than the other, so that the critical one gets power for a little bit longer. Yeah, so that's that board and the input. That goes into this guy. Oh, the communication. That's the communication module there. There's an edge connector in that, and RS232, by the look of it. A few little relays and stuff. Not much interesting in that. This board, which has the control board on it, let's have a look at that. A lot of little parts, transformer there. Guess that's the brains. Buzzer. Up there, couplers. More comms. Alright, now this board, the AC comes in here, fuses, not sure that relays on the input or the output, and then, yeah, so it goes through a bit more filtering I think, relays and fuses, and then off to the other board, where it comes back as DC along these wires, and then here we've got 4 IGBTs that turn into AC for the output, and there's the filtering. Now there's also wire, a bit strange, there's wiring going from these terminals here, which looks like just AC incoming, also goes to here where the AC, as well as going in through those resistors, the control board for voltage sensing, snakes its way all around here without touching anything else, going to this area, which is some sort of a switching power supply for running the control board and various other electronics presumably. And when the DC comes back from the other board, it's ground on the black and plus and minus on the red and white. And these IGBTs, those two are in parallel and those two are in parallel, so it looks like some sort of push-pull, alternately switching the output to the minus and plus. But a bit hard to tell what's connected to what the way it is. I've got to take this heatsink off and all these inductors and all these large components to see what's actually going on in here. Same for the remaining board, this guy, well, second last board. So this one has 2 IGBTs, 2 diodes, which are in the data sheet claimed to be hyper-fast diodes, plus a bridge rectifier. And this area, this stuff here, and this circuitry, all this circuitry down here, is for power factor correction, to make it draw input current in line with the AC voltage rather than short spikes which a bridge rectifier alone would cause. Then this bit of circuitry here and these 6 MOSFETs, 3 in parallel there, 3 in parallel there, drive this transformer and somehow selects whether that power going into the MOSFETs comes from this power factor correction or from the batteries. And I can't see any relays here, so again I'm not sure what's going on and need to take off all these components to have a closer look to see how the power, these definitely get the power off the battery terminals, not sure. Yeah, but again I've got to take off all these large components to see what's going on. The output of that transformer goes to this 4 diodes there, bridge rectifier on its own little heatsink with its own little semi-afterthought fan. I mean, there's a connector for it on the board, but it definitely looks like an add-on up there, just a little fan. And then these 4 capacitors are not all in parallel. These 2 are in parallel and those 2 are in parallel, and I'm not sure the connection between them. Again, I've got to take the parts off. And buried in there is the bus plus, minus and ground that these wires plug onto. So it comes in on one board, half of one board, goes through half of this board, then into this board, bounces off the transformer and comes back as DC into this board where it gets inverted, and finally goes out here via the relays to the output. The battery charger board, you see, have a look at what they are. Bridge rectifier, transformer, electrodes. AC comes in here. AC actually comes straight to here and then goes from here back to this board. Won't have too much of a look at that. Not interested in the battery part. I'm interested in all this switching circuitry. I've made a picture of this for your interest. There's the wiring. AC comes in on the terminals, goes to the in-out board, through here to that sensing circuit, the sensing resistors, but then over to this local power supply. It also goes through whatever the hell these things are, these guys, which sound like they're almost empty except for that glass sound. That goes to the charger board, but immediately, without going through anything, back to the input to this board, and then the AC comes up into here where it gets power factor corrected, turned into rectified, turned into AC through the transformer, rectified again, and then back along these bus wires into here, gets inverted and comes out there, which goes into the relays here and then to the load groups, as far as I can tell. So, really interesting. I'll pull those big parts off. If anything interesting comes of it, I might make a video, but I want to understand how this circuitry works for my own purposes, just so I understand how the parts are being used, so that I might be able to reuse them in a way that's similar. So that's it for this, I think. Hope you enjoyed. Give it a like, please, and I'll catch you later.